How long gone is here? Hurricane Hillary watch. She's been downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm. Diva down. I repeat, diva down.
Someone said it's a category 2 pitter pat outside, and it is. It's barely raining. I went to the gym. I drove all the way to Glendale. There's, of course, no problems. But we had, I was planning to go to the Baroncini olive oil bagel pop-up. Canceled. Yeah. Several restaurants.
That's canceled?
Several restaurants are closing.
I saw that. It's like they have employees that have to travel there and stuff. It's weird.
But it's literally barely raining outside. So I'm a little...
well, that's only right now. Things could change.
Things could change, but like I don't think... I just... This is what happens every time. And I was trying to explain this to our server yesterday at Farm Shop, that when you live on the... When you live on the East Coast, this happens all the time, and they're wrong, I would say, half the time or more. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you got to batten down the hatches. Like, there are people getting sandbags in Highland Park yesterday. Let me just say, get a life.
Well, but also,
like,
but there, if it's right half the time, isn't that enough of a chance to where you would do the...
No, this is what I'm saying, though, Jason. We're hysterical people. Like, let's just be measured about it and be like, oh, it could be a bad storm. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll think about that and plan accordingly. I'm not going to get into my bomb shelter and go buy out the Ralphs.
But isn't acquiring sandbags planning ahead? Wouldn't that fit into the plan accordingly?
Buying sandbags for a rainstorm in Highland Park is literally the most cucked lib shit I've ever heard. That it's literally the worst. It's the worst thing I've ever heard.
I guess in 2023 we can now use weather as a weapon in the culture wars.
It's just like, dude, if it's gonna be bad, like, pay attention to the weather and make decisions accordingly. Don't prepare. Like, no one said the world is gonna end.
Yeah, but make decisions accordingly. That's the issue. It's because what is a measured decision? Those are the two sides of the culture war coin, where it's like you're a pussy who is going too crazy and you're getting enough water to last 5 years and blah blah blah, and then on the other side you're an idiot and your house is gonna wash away, and then don't come asking me for help.
Don't worry, I don't think any of this is going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. That's the thing. They're going to have wasted money on sandbags and gotten their hokas muddy preparing their yard. And my house isn't going to wash away. And we're just going to talk about it on social media, and life's going to continue. That's the reality of
we all have used the pair of hokas to do some gardening or go hiking in, because that means now you get to buy a new clean pair of hokas and you have one for indoor outdoor.
I said this on Twitter earlier. I'm just my kind of heart goes out to all the people that aren't going to get to go to the farmer's market today, because that, I know you're hurting.
When you said my kind of heart, does that mean your type of heart, or just like...
No, my heart. Okay. I meant my heart goes out to you, because I just think that there are a lot of people that for every week they look forward to kind of packing their $1,500 stroller into the Volvo, driving down in their cargo pants and hokas to the farmer's market. It's the church. It's the new church. For people on the east side of Los Angeles, farmer's market is church.
Someone has a new essay forming.
That's where they get...
Tropical Storm Black is forming right now. The Substack Black
That's where you get your kind of socializing. That's where you get to take pictures of your family looking cute.
We can share gifts from our hearth with our community.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
It's the only form of community, and unfortunately the farmer's market does happen outside, so Hillary has put a kibosh on that for this Sunday. Mm-hmm. But hopefully they're able to make it to Santa Monica on Wednesday to get their fix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have so many feta dips.
But I would also like to just point out to people, purchased. And I know this is hard to stomach, but produce is available at regular grocery stores.
It's just different though, man.
You can get avocados.
The ones that I buy in the piss stain parking lot, those have to be very washed. So that's why it's better.
More. Oh, I see. I didn't.
No. I mean, they need much more washing than the grocery store ones.
I see.
When I go to Ralph's, which is probably open right now.
Ralph's is definitely open. I mean, that's
like
the problem.
No damn pussies.
That's the problem. I have to go to Starbucks and Ralph's today. You know what I mean?
It is interesting, because there are restaurants where it's like, I talked to Uncle Paulie about it. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I gave my employees the option if they want to come in. If they don't, it's all up to you.
His employees have all done a little time, so they're not scared of rain.
And free lunch as well.
I mean, a free hoagie.
You're not working on tips.
You're not
busy. It's going to be dead. So that's just
Yeah, no, I think giving.
But that being said, and then there's like, we're like the we're the Banchan pop-up in Highland Park, and we're going to close down.
But it's also not just we're going to close down. It's for the safety of our employees and our customers.
Which is a great excuse to use. But it's also true. It's a good excuse.
It's a good excuse, but it's also like when corporations were like, all right, we can lay off 5,000 people because of COVID now. We're hitting a lick. It's just very similar.
So there's rain, and then today is super rain, and then there's having a cold, and then super cold.
Exactly.
COVID-19.
That's literally what it is.
I got a super cold.
I'm feeling super sniffly.
I better extra stay home today.
But we're going to lunch. Alex and I are going to lunch with Tim at the Sunset Tower today. That's open. Dinner at Queen Street tonight. Reservation has been booked for a week. Thanks to my friend Ari over there. Should be fine.
Oh, wow.
And if they close, I will come back on this podcast and slander Ari. So it's fine. It's his funeral.
Yeah, it is interesting how weather has become. I guess we're more obsessed with weather, and I'm trying to figure out why. I think part of it, or at least my side of the argument is we're so sort of bored with the monotony of everyday life and living on the internet and streaming services that we kind of just want to see some shit go down. I want to see. I don't want people and families to die. And I don't want like homes to be destroyed, but I want to see like a car floating down the LA River.
Action. No, I mean, I think what's happening is climate change is real. It's making the weather more extreme.
We got a clean take of that?
I believe climate. I think everyone's an idiot, but I also believe climate change is real. It's hard to kind of comprehend.
Yeah, get you a podcast host that can do both.
But so climate change is real. Weather has gotten extreme. More extreme.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
And people, it's an argument to be like, we want to talk about this to point out to the people that don't believe in climate change that it's real.
See?
And the climate change people are just like, whatever, pussy, I'm going out on my boat. Like, I don't give a fuck. So it's divisive to say the least.
Okay, so it is a culture war topic.
It's a culture war topic. It's not just like you think that weather, something that universally affects us all, would bring us together, but somehow we have found a way for it to divide us even more.
I guess because weather back in the early man days, the Bronze Age or whatever, weather was the gods, punishing us or giving us gifts.
Yes, exactly.
Back in my day, rain, that was a gift from God.
That was a gift. That kept my family fed.
Yeah.
That kept my crops growing.
And now in 2023, that means Wendy's closed down because the drive-thru's flooded.
Yeah, that means I might not be able to have a raw bar tonight.
Damn. You eat Wendy's for dinner, I eat raw bar. We're not the same.
We're not the same. Get you a podcast that can do both. Yeah, but we're don't worry. We're indoors. How Long Gone? We're looking out the window. Everything is fine. We're safe in the How Long Gone
my
bunker.
windows are open right now.
That's how little the rain. Yeah, I mean, it's all good. There's a lot going on the East Coast, and I want to first of all congratulate the beautiful Margaret Qualley and friend of the show Jack Antonoff on their nuptials. And everybody,
crazy kids. I didn't think you were going to do it.
I didn't think you were going to do it. There's an 11-year age difference. Shout out to Jack for that. That seems about Vegas odds for being on par for Antonov, right? Knowing that he helps write Taylor Swift lyrics, his maturity level might be, different.
Sure.
But the wedding is happening in New Jersey, his home state, and there's all the celebrities in town. There's amazing footage of like 5,000 people swarming like a local restaurant because Taylor Swift was inside. But
Tony's Clam Shack?
Yeah, literally a Tony's Clam Shack. But
I want to take you to a place, Margaret. You probably won't like it. I grew up going here.
It was like the rehearsal dinner.
It's not perfect, but it's mine. Sorry, go ahead.
But they have, but then there's been some images of your fave, Lana Del Rey, and she apparently wore Crocs to the wedding.
There were not regular Crocs. Okay. They were Croc makes a nice kind of elevated wedge slip on.
I want to be clear. There's no such thing as an elevated wedge. I hate to say it.
Okay, when I say elevated, I mean in terms of inches.
Stacked wedge. It's a stacked wedge. Let's use the proper terminology. So she basically had
I don't know the proper terminology. She basically had
some Croc rocket dogs, and she said, "I'm pulling up Crockett dogs."
It was a pink like Nike slide that like a high school student would wear.
Yeah,
but it got a little lift kit on it.
She put a lift kit,
and I'm wondering because our dog sitter Nancy, shout out to Nancy. she's a little bit of an inventress.
Oh, she dabbles in the inventor space?
A little bit, With the internet nowadays, you can get almost anything made.
So what is she have a 3D printer at the dog shelter, or is it something different?
She outsources that to Bangladesh. Okay. All of her 3D
Smart.
stuff.
She uses Fiverr like we do.
Yeah, so she had a pair of the slip-on Crocs like that, where it wasn't the full like nasty, ugly traditional Croc. It was more
your Croc of choice. It's an upscale female Croc.
Yes. And then she let us know that she had that sole custom lifted an inch or two or something like that to kind of give it more of a formal parrot head kind of feel to it,
Can I ask?
And I guess Lana has been paying attention to my whereabouts.
Can I ask where is she wearing these? Is this for like a night out? Or like, is this...
I'm glad you asked, Chris. Because it can kind of go from the office to cocktails.
Okay. So
it can go from the backyard to Whole Foods.
Okay. So it's a more universal style when you add a little...
Airport?
Okay.
It'd be
no
easier
one's
to
wearing
find,
Crocs to the airport, so that makes sense.
Be easier to find a place where you can't wear them too, Chris.
I'm disappointed. I think the Lana troll is becoming... It's getting so extreme.
I saw that image of her wearing the pink Crocs as well at the wedding, and somebody said, "What else would Lana wear to a wedding?" This is just like Jack marrying an 11 years younger person. Like, who else is this gonna? Who else is?
No, I mean, I get that. I guess, but there's also what was it? The cartels in Mexico, because Lana Del Rey has some sold out shows in Mexico. And I guess to celebrate, the local drug cartels have customized their guns with Lana Del Rey, like a photo quality image of Lana Del Rey printed on the handle, on the clip of their pistol.
To me, that feels fake. Like,
yeah,
I always have really bad fake tweet spidey sense, where it's just like, this is not real.
Well, you think every tweet is fake, and you think everything is a conspiracy theory or AI. That is one of your downfalls.
9 times out of 10, I'm right, brother. Not 50-50, 90-10. But like what? So a Mexican cartel is like, we're so happy that Lana Del Rey had a great show in Guadalajara, 2 sold out nights, and to celebrate, I'm going to get custom 3D mold printed wraps on
it's
my
like
banana
when you sell
clips.
out. It's like when Boy Genius sells out Forest Hills. They get a nice, beautiful cake backstage from the venue.
That's normal.
This is the Mexican version of that. Like when you sell out a couple shows in Mexico,
but this would be the version of just if somebody sold out if Boy Genius sold out a show at that place, and then a fan in Minnesota made a cake and then took a photo of it, like, congrats on a show. It'd be like, what is that? Why are you doing that?
It's because I think the cartels are involved in all parts of the business, and maybe they're profiting off of Lana's maybe they're doing security.
So this is the cartel version when John Mayer does 7 nights at Red Rocks, and they give him a jersey and they make all these little things.
That's what I mean. That's what the cartel.
But the cartels, since they're illegal activities and they're wanted by the FBI, they can't take the photo of them holding the giant check where they're donating.
Yeah, no, exactly. They
$70,000.
have to do something a little more covert. Speaking of Boy Genius, there's been some big Boy Genius stuff this week because they ripped open their shirts.
All of them, or are you just referring to one member?
Phoebe and Lucy. What's her name?
Dacus?
No, but what's the other? Why can't?
Oh,
Julian.
Julian
did not rip off her shirt. But I don't.
Because she's the cool one of the group.
I think so. It went extremely viral because I think it was obviously titties. But I don't understand. Do you think it was a shot at the patriarchy, or do you think it was just like, we're rock stars, baby?
I think much like the Lana Del Rey banana clips, this was an orchestrated, premeditated social media move.
Okay, you think that, like, okay, so you think they were like, I don't know. It's like, I think it's like when Nirvana was smashing the drum set. Sometimes you just feel the emotions.
Yeah, and when you see Nirvana smash a drum set, or any rock star, male or female or non-binary, through the decades, you can easily tell this was real. This is pure animal
I'm kidding.
emotion.
I don't think Nirvana did anything real. I think that was all orchestrated.
Fuck
as well.
you. That's wrong.
100%.
Like when you see some crazy, even Pearl Jam or whatever, climbing up to the
Pearl
top.
Jam, I believe, but that's
cool.
another story. Go ahead.
Kurt Cobain would fling his entire body into the pointed metal steel drum kit. He's injuring himself. Everything's fucked up. That feels real to me. When you see Willow Smith smashing her guitar on a thing and a guy in the back hits a button and smoke comes out or whatever,
that
that's
doesn't
fake.
Yeah, that doesn't feel real.
This feels orchestrated. This feels as if they were planning on doing this for a while. The Taylor. It wasn't a moment of spontaneous, pure energy. It was a premeditated viral attack.
Unfortunately, I don't think it was premeditated. I really don't. I don't think it's cool, but I don't think it's premeditated.
So one person, she was holding her shirt for like a minute beforehand, like ready, and then the other person's like, "Oh, you ripped your shirt off and titties are out. I'm going to do it too."
I think Phoebe ripped first, and then Lucy ripped second, and they laid on the floor and moved or whatever.
I didn't see Lucy. I only saw.
Oh yeah,
Phoebe. Of the two, who tore more, Chris? They both ripped, but who tore?
Great question. I mean, it's tough for me because they're wearing Tom Brown. I know those buttons are nice, so it's gonna they're more muscular than I realized. Like those,
which is another reason why
it's
this
not
is
hard to
premeditated.
rip a shirt open, probably.
Okay, so quick to change your tune. Chris is a flip flopper. Stay tuned after the break, and you'll find out the answer.
The Boy Genius stuff is reaching the point of just no return. How crazy it's getting. The excitement that people have for it.
Okay, well, do you think it's on the rise, or do you think it's on the way down? Because I'm seeing a backlash.
There's a backlash, but I think they're the shows they're playing.
You have to get the backlash once you ascend to the next level.
But the shows they're playing are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like they're playing huge shows, and somehow Muna's still opening. But that's another story.
I think I'm sure that the power, once they're on that huge level and they have the data and the algorithms, they know who's headlining and who's not.
I mean,
based on ticket sales, right?
I just can't believe how big it is. Like I can't believe. It's like kind of shocking to me that there's that many people that are offended by a sex scene in Oppenheimer that they go buy tickets to see Boy Genius live.
Actually, I don't know what that reference is, or if that's even a real reference.
There's a whole thing on the internet about people being like, there's people that do like videos of talking about how they've avoided sex scenes in movies because it's triggering and offensive to them.
Oh,
and it's like there was one today. I sent it to the group chat about Oppenheimer where she was like, when I would let my husband know that the parts were coming, and he would close his eyes and place his head on my shoulder so that he didn't have to see it.
Is this like Mormon camp shit, or these are just real? These are regular people?
I think it's just like, it's partly Christian, and I think also partly like non-binary barista.
The asexualization of Gen Z.
Yeah, like it's all of the above. But I feel like there's a big crossover in audiences. That's why I say that.
Okay, I have heard a little bit about that, about like the rejection of watching sex scenes on. I think that seems to be a bigger stemming issue of people finding ways to remove themselves away from normal situations that we all have in life that are not amazing and perfect.
Well, my favorite line of thinking with it is, it doesn't even like do anything for the plot. Like it doesn't need this, And it's like, oh, okay, all right, Ebert, let me know what the plot needs to move forward.
By that argument, you could say the same thing about any scene or any element in any film ever.
Every character on, and just like that, like it's all.
Sarah Jessica Parker doesn't need to be in that. It could have been anyone.
I don't fully get it unless it's religion. Like if it's religion based, then I'm like, okay, yeah, you're a loser. Like I get it.
To me, it's like the adding the pillow top to every hard surface occasion of our world, where it's like, here back into my day, I had to do this and this, and that was hard, and that turned me into a good person, and I am grateful for my life now, and blah blah blah. All the life lessons that everyone lived nowadays, they're like, I don't want to do that because that doesn't sound fun. I'm going to watch YouTube on my iPad and eat DoorDash because that's good, and bad stuff doesn't happen there. And then, but when you remove everything,
it's getting so.
When you get all the tunas in the net,
It's getting
you
so
take the
extreme.
Dolphins too.
It's getting so extreme. But I don't know.
What are we going to do about it, Chris?
Nothing, probably. I mean, I assume these people will just continue to censor as they see fit, and content will continue to be created without them in mind. Hopefully.
What I want to know what the end result of that is. Like when those people are, in like 40 years from now, people who have been coddled like that their entire life, no hardships, nothing at all as bad as ever happened to them. What kind of, do they turn into like a monster? Or do they become just this beautiful, peaceful thing?
It's not beautiful and peaceful. It's demented and twisted. To think you can go through life without ever seeing anything that like makes you unhappy or like feel something you don't want to feel. Like,
remember when we were kids, you would hear the phrase "no pain, no gain" all the time.
Yeah.
When's the last time you heard that?
No, we need to bring that
in
back.
The conversation.
No pain, no gain is something that's a mantra I subscribe to, as you can imagine.
When I was a kid, it never made sense to me.
Why? Because you're a pussy.
No. I just the wording of it confused me.
So you're a dumb pussy?
I mean, I obviously understand. I mean, there was like little hang-ups when I was a kid, like I guess whispers of autism or something.
Okay,
like
relax, Red Scare. Okay,
not
relax.
I'm not bragging about it, but like I used to think that sideburns were when you run really hard and you get a cramp on your ribs. Because it made perfect sense to me.
Bro, it makes perfect sense to me now that you put it like that, but how have you never told me that before? Are there any other of these TJ-isms?
I'm trying to think. There's just certain things in my mind where like I'll have my scientific mind made up about something, and somebody's like, "No, that's not
what
that
it means
at
at all.
It's this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess
sideburns
that works
for pain in the side after exercise though does make sense logically. So I'm not mad
because
at that.
you look at your hair on your face. A sideburn is 2 words.
Yeah.
It's on the side of your face. That makes sense. What is hair under your ear? Why does that become a burn?
I'm sure there's a deep history that probably has to do with like Aboriginal rights or something that we don't know about, but like that's so be careful here.
It actually harkens back to the deforestation of the New Zealand rainforest.
Literally. This is going to be something like, well, if you look at the tribes of the 1800s, sideburns were such a thing.
I'm glad you asked that question.
And sideburns do not exist anymore. When's the last time you've seen a nice pair of chops?
See, there's no pain, no gain. No sideburns. Back in when I was a youngster and I was dreaming to the point where I could hit puberty and then have a haircut where I look like I'm in Pantera.
Yeah,
was my only goal.
Yes, of course.
I just want to do the thing where you have a ponytail, but the sides are shaved, and then the ponytail is on the top and goes back, and you have a badass goatee or something like that.
But the sideburns
with buzzed head with the sideburns, and you get like a septum ring or an eyebrow ring.
Hard.
Your dick is on Hillary.
I don't know.
It's a slurricane. The Alice in Chains hoes are lying in that.
I sideburns were. I had some sideburns.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I don't think they weren't as manicured or like pointed at the bottom, but it was like definitely a hardcore.
You didn't form them into an upside down cross.
I didn't have
Bitch
those.
ass.
I didn't kind of have those skills. But that was part of the hardcore look, kind of.
Yeah,
it was very popular. Band shirt, cargo shorts, Vans, sideburns. I mean, what more do you need?
Choker.
I had several chokers.
For a guy who talks so much mess about Heaven by Marc Jacobs.
I don't talk mess about Heaven by Marc Jacobs.
Okay, maybe not Heaven.
I think it's a genius business move.
Oh, no, it's more, what's Frank Ocean's jewelry called again?
Oh, well, that's garbage.
Homer. Or Vivian.
No, Vivian Westwood is cool. Homer is not cool. And we all know it's not cool because it's a choker that looks like anime is very different than chokers that I was wearing in my hardcore days.
Then a choker that was made out of
beads.
Beads that spell out X poison free for life X.
Yeah, that's that. Honestly,
not like some anime bullshit.
Wearing a beaded necklace that says X poison free X is still cooler than wearing Homer. 100%, hands down. Because you know what, the X poison free X beads that's handmade. That's with love. That stands for something. Homer is $1,000 garbage for you to show off to your friends that wear cargo pants.
Isn't it? I'm now thinking about the irony that now that you are a full-grown adult person who would never wear a beaded choker that says poison-free.
Well,
Okay, never say never. You are so much more poison-free now than you were at the time when you were wearing the poison-free necklace and did not do any drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
Just think about how bad your diet was at 16 versus now in terms of, poison is so subjective.
Do you think it's time for me to get a poison-free tattoo? Do you think it's time? Like, I avoided getting a straight edge tattoo for my entire life, but poison-free feels like a more holistic statement.
I guess it because it's a straight edge phrase.
Yes.
But now, because of, Mad Happy and sobriety and wellness, it could be turned a little less violent.
Yeah.
And like, what is poison? Microplastics?
Yeah, exactly. No,
or vodka soda.
Seed oils, alcohol. I mean, I would say pollution. I mean, there's things that I can't avoid, but I'm still considering myself to be poison free.
Because this is a unedited episode, I just said so many things in my mind that were poison and then decided not to say it because, works of art, television.
You don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I think chokers were a moment in time, and I wore several.
It always works.
I had a stack.
You had a stack.
Oh, yeah.
Like a club sandwich, thick, full of chokers.
Morning Again, Florida hardcore,
Did the stack ever touch the sideburn?
No. I was too fat. My chin was too pronounced for that. Okay. My second chin was too pronounced for that.
Got it. Okay.
But
couldn't make it over the hill?
Exactly. Couldn't make it over that hump. But yeah, it was a time and a place, but I don't think that is making a comeback in that way. Like the Frank Ocean chokers are more ravey because there was a lot of crossover with rave look and hardcore look. It was just hardcore look was like a little more.
Put some respect on Rave's name, Chris.
Muted. I feel like color palette where Candy Flippers were rocking the
jungle music was where the two aligned.
Oh, and really?
I was in the eye of that hurricane.
I didn't know
because you go into the junglist room at a rave.
Tell me, please. I've never
Tiesto's
been.
in the main stage. Ugh, I'm not on enough floor drugs to enjoy that right now. I just smoked a very bad joint. I've got 2 like Boddingtons in me. I'm going to be in the jungle room, and all my bros are wearing the same thing that I'm wearing. A weird military green brown New Balance shoe.
Okay.
Trail running with yellow.
Oh, the 801s. Yeah, I remember the vegan ones. I remember those.
Pair of vegan 801s. A sock pulled up pretty high, or no sock at all. And this is pre no show socks.
Yeah, this is a time when men had to be men.
It was stinky, and we liked it.
Nothing stinkier than a vegan.
You know
shoe.
what's coming back? Stink. You know what I mean? In certain communities.
I'm sure.
In some of our gay communities.
Yeah.
Okay. Cargo short.
Sure.
Below the knee.
Yeah.
Baggy. Knife in it.
Oh, gotta have a knife. If you don't have a knife,
to have a knife. And one left pocket, knife. Right pocket, hot pink Hello Kitty brass knuckle.
Oh, shit. You really are from 18 Visions country. All right, so
on top, basketball jersey, no shirt underneath. Got to show off the shoulder, neck, and oblique tats. But I have a picture of a fallen angel on my rib cage that needs to be accentuated.
What kind of jersey? Cabal or like an actual basketball jersey?
Choose your pick, but I like to keep it real with the regular basketball jersey. And the team has nothing to do with any sports allegiance. It's only based on color, which is something that we can share with the hip-hop community as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was matching my fit. I've actually never worn a basketball jersey, which is something I'm both proud and embarrassed of. I just always found it to be not for me.
It is not for you.
I mean, I don't think it was for you either. I don't think it was for you either.
There's certain moments in my life where, I mean, there's photos of me wearing a Lakers Pau Gasol jersey, for Halloween or something like that. I think it fits me all right.
What? Okay, so when you were when you had the cargo, you had the pink Hello Kitty.
I was not wearing basketball jerseys at the time, though. Just to be clear.
Okay, so what kind of wallet were you carrying? Was it Velcro? Was it from Hello Kitty as well?
It was Bad Bats Maru wallet.
Of course. Made
out of plastic.
Why was the Bats Maru wallet so popular with young men that listen to aggressive music? Why? Because he was the bad boy of the Hello Kitty world?
2 reasons.
Okay.
Number 1, it was the only character out of the Hello Kitty universe that was black and not like a hot pink girly color.
True. Or Karopi.
Number 2, that will get girls to have sex with you.
Why?
They'll think that you're cute and just like them and vulnerable, and you think cute stuff is cute too.
I thought it was
Start
partly
sucking.
because Hello Kitty was just really easy to shoplift from, or you knew somebody who worked there.
That too. Also, if you're 13, great place to cruise some babes,
Yeah, you can cruise some babes.
I'm going to go to the candy store after this if you guys want to come.
Is Hello Kitty still open?
I mean, it's still a billions dollar business.
They don't have those retail stores anymore, I feel like.
Not in America, really. I mean, I'm sure there's one in New York and somewhere in LA
next to the
but
Sour
like
Patch
in
Kids
other
store?
parts of the world.
It must be. But the Bats Maru plastic wallet on high school men was something that truly feels exclusive to the hardcore community.
And that thing got chewed up.
The
plastic had a lot of discoloration.
It wasn't high quality plastic, by the way. This is plastic that is begging.
I think I told you that story. When I was at Disneyland and we snuck into the ball pit, which was like a chipmunk style. It was like supposed to be like the balls were like acorns.
Oh, okay.
I believe this was in a special Toontown area.
Okay.
But anyway, we would sneak into certain areas after dark and then explore them. You know what I mean? Good place to get drunk on the low, do a finger bang, whatever it is. And I lost my wallet. It fell out of my pants, my Beyond baggies in the ball pit. And then it was a Bad Bats Maru wallet. And then like 2 weeks later, an envelope showed up at my house with the wallet inside. Still intact, everything
perfect. Do you think that was a Disney employee or a kind of a good citizen?
I think it's a Disney employee policy, a lost item. If it has the ID and an address.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's cool.
I'm surprised I didn't make you an all parks member for life, but I'm glad you were able to resist.
I can't do it. I was talking to somebody who just went to Disneyland.
Chang, we were talking to Chang on Friday,
and he said that he went and him and the people that he was with were the only people, adults, children, any age range, animals who weren't wearing a piece of Disney merch while they were there.
I mean, Disney's the greatest merchandising company of in the world. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're able to do.
But they're not really cranking out new stuff, are they, right?
I bet they are. I mean, all the theme parks that make it's like duty free. You got to walk through to get out, It's like if you get off a ride at Disney World, you have to walk through a gift shop to leave. Almost all of them.
I know. I'm wondering when they're going to run out of content, though.
Never.
I mean, obviously, you can enjoy FX is the Bear on Disney Plus.
Well, but I think that now all that stuff is like offensive. Like Snow White is like offensive.
Yeah, all that stuff. But there's a movie about the Haunted Mansion, which is like a ride at Disneyland. They've made a movie out of every ride at Disneyland.
Oh, I see. You mean they like take the IP, create a movie based on a ride?
They created characters and then made rides about the characters, and then they created rides and then made movies about the rides. So now, I mean, I guess they can just keep rehashing content forever.
I think they can do it forever. I mean, I think they're doing it at the highest level, so they can do it forever. But I'm proud to say I've never been.
Never?
No, I mean, I've been there because the only reason I've been there is because the House of Blues is on the Disney campus.
Yeah.
Been to that House of Blues several. I've been to every House of Blues, maybe.
Have you been to a gospel brunch?
No. Tell me about that.
The one on Sunset Strip. I don't know if they do it anymore post-COVID, but it was like a legendary thing maybe 15 years ago. You would hear, it was like the gay country line dancing. Like, yo, you got to go. It's low key lit kind of thing.
Okay. So it's like Kanye West Sunday service, but at the now shuttered.
Except the waffles is hitting.
No, that place was great. I used to, I'd stay at the Standard. You could walk down. So you didn't even have to drive with Coke. It was so sick.
Yeah, there would just be a big gospel band on stage like you would see in like a cool Southern church. But they're like really getting down and it's funky and it's.
But there is some.
And there's a buffet.
And this is before CBD infused waffles. This is more of a classic breakfast.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, this is a simpler time when maybe a couple people would smoke weed in the parking lot before you get in, and you got a little Henny in your orange juice or something like that. Henny and coffee, please.
I have to say, man, that I know we've talked about it before, but this weed stuff is getting out of control. It's
Go
like
on.
it's just like, how could something be so uncool now? And it's really permeating every facet of my pathetic life, where I can't go anywhere without having to smell someone's secondhand Zaza.
A smell you used to love.
I used to, I mean, Kush was my cologne. I mean, this wasn't a game. Like, I loved it. I thought I smelled good when I would smoke the blunt, hotbox the car. It mixed well with my cologne. You know what I mean? That's the way I used to think about it.
That's a thing that some people think.
That's how I used to think about it. And now I smell weed.
I used to love how my fingernails smelled.
And I'm like, you just smell like a damp rug or something. It's just like not, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and the worse it smells, the better it is.
Yes,
it's not. It's not like other things. It's not like a nice candle.
But I just, it's just nonstop. Every kind of person in New York is smoking a joint, walking down the street. Everywhere you turn, somebody's squatting over in the corner. They don't even use grinders anymore. They're just doing it with their hands in the corner, rolling up a fucking swisher. It's just too much. Have some self-respect.
Is there jealousy because you were born in the wrong era?
No. I actually am not jealous, because I was born in the right era when marijuana was illegal. You had to buy it from a dealer.
And there's still some danger involved.
And it hadn't been co-opted by big government.
Right.
But it's really gotten to the point where it happened. I guess it happened faster than I thought it would. Like how it took like a year of weed stores being open for it to be completely insufferable.
In New York, you mean?
Kind of everywhere.
Because weed stores have been
here for a long time. That's true.
Yeah,
but
for
New York,
10 years probably.
But it's crazy that we've already lived through the point of like MedMen failing, like MedMen crashing. That was supposed to be the upper echelon, the epitome of marijuana dispensaries.
Is there going to be an Apple of weed?
I think it's too fucked.
A Disney of weed?
I think it's too fucked. I mean, I think it's just like it's over, kind of like the gold rush is over. So I think that like real money, like VC guys are like over. It's over. Like, we don't care about this anymore.
How can it be over though? Because the amount of money that is made selling marijuana legally in America every year grows exponentially.
Yeah, but I think
I have no idea if that's true.
But I think that like it's like anything else. It's like there's a gold rush era where people are like, I can get rich off of this, and this is the way to do that.
Yeah,
and that's just over. Like, I think it's like it's so saturated that there's no way. The
cream will rise to the top though.
Yeah, but it's just like real estate.
There's too much money.
It's like you can't, if you were alive in the 70s, you could buy a loft in Tribeca for $100,000 and now you're rich. You can't do that with weed anymore. You can't like invest in some, it's just not. And in other places, it's because it's all government regulated. It's like there's all these weird rules that make it hard to like really, really get crazy. Like in New York, the stores have to close every 6 months because they're not technically legal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have to close, like rename and shit. It's all like
If I feel like if there's enough money to be made, just like alcohol sales, people will find a way.
I think you're going to make money. I just mean it's like the way when every startup was selling for $1 billion. It's like, that's over now. We're done with that. Like, you hope you get 10 million. So I think that's what
the podcast boom has.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just like once something hits the plateau, all the money guys are like, all right, what's next? Like mushroom chocolates ain't it, but like we're gonna keep looking.
I think marijuana is going to keep growing. It'll be bigger and bigger. I think it'll get too big.
I think it'll keep growing, but I just think that it's going to be a little more like cool and artisanal almost than it is like big business Apple vibe.
You think so? I mean, I hope so.
I think that, if you go into
that is the spirit of THC.
Like when I go to buy Alex what are those? What's it?
The Rose.
When I go to buy those at that Gotham place in New York.
Yeah.
I don't. It's literally like going into fucking cookbook. Like the amount, you know what I mean? Yeah. Everything is very particular. It's all very like stylized and small. It's not like you're gonna. It just feels like that is the route.
Oh, okay.
Like versus like
a
Walmart or whatever. You know what I mean? It's going to be a little more like a healthy bodega vibe,
which I guess is a good thing. It's
the best possible result, really.
To be a small business kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean that's the best possible result. I mean, I want it to be obviously criminalized, and I want people to be thrown in jail for smoking a joint in the street, but
it is weird when I was flying with edibles in Europe. Like before, the thought of me doing that is crazy, and now it really feels like if you're a full adult and you have a collared shirt and a watch and a wedding ring, you can kind of do whatever at the border.
Oh, they don't care. That's just not their
Which I
concern.
guess is privilege.
Well, no, it's a little bit like you're not child trafficking. Like, okay.
Right.
Like this is such
you
a
don't
low
have
level.
a kilo of fentanyl on you.
Also, they don't have that stuff, so they're literally like, "What? I don't like. What is that? Like, you can't get a gummy in England,
Yeah.
So they don't even know what it is. But you're a bad man, bro. You're a lawbreaker. You don't give a fuck.
It's the only thing that keeps me hard. But I would see all these like stand-up jokes back in the day of like, man, if marijuana was legal, imagine there'd be no street fights, there'd be no blah blah,
Yeah.
All those jokes. But like, what if we really do get to that point where everyone stops drinking alcohol and is fully just on a
I think,
edible malaise?
No, I think alcohol consumption is too deeply ingrained in our culture to ever. And it's like anything else. It's like cars. Like, yeah, every car will be electric at some point, and there's going to be guys that fetishize gas cars, and that'll be a whole community. It's the same way. Like, alcohol will continue to be maybe less popular, but it's not like anyone's going to stop collecting their single malts or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Every dork, no dork will let go.
But I guess that's a good thing, because the single malt dorks, those are the people who are not going to, fist fight a police horse in the street.
No,
and,
that's
and
true.
Crash their car.
Yeah, no, that's true. But it's like cigars are a good example of like a community that kind of like
They
keeps
stay
to
to
themselves, but it really thrives, I think.
Yeah, it's fat, rich, old guys.
Nothing
rule.
I want to do more than sit in a room in a leather chair with 10 guys I don't know. And
I've tried it. I've tried so hard to enjoy it,
it's gross.
and I couldn't get it.
It's gross. It's like, but when I was in like Sweden, everyone uses the snus. Like guys were snoozing at the gym.
Really?
Yeah, like they had it with them. It's like I saw the gym. It's like key card to the hotel, Apple iPhone, Apple AirPods, snus.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like deeply.
Did you see a lot of people smoking cigarettes
No.
in town? Really?
No, like none.
So the Swedish people all uniformly agree we're going to keep it clean.
Yeah.
It's good for our health. It's good for our smell.
Yeah.
It's good for our skin.
I mean, Stockholm is an immaculate city, like as far as cleanliness goes.
Yeah.
And they also, I believe, I'm not an expert, but I think the snus package, like it looks like dip, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it has a section. I think it's like partitioned.
Like nerds?
Like nerds, where the one side is the new ones and one side you put the old ones. So you don't have to they give you a place so you don't throw it on the ground.
Damn, I hope you're listening, David Sunflower Seeds. Something that I would love.
You've been pushing pollution for years.
I mean, I used to love sunflower seeds, spitting them out the window on a road trip.
I bet you had a nasty little flavor too. Ranch.
No. I never did flavors.
Actually, I like sunflower seeds too, but
Some of the most calories of all time.
really?
The amount of salt and calories and fat in sunflower seeds is insane.
That's cool. That's funny.
But I used to eat them when I played Little League all the time. I loved it.
I'm on a little bit of a pistachio kick lately. Myself.
Talk your shit, Chris.
Well, there was a nice avocado dip at Farm Shop yesterday that had pistachios for crunch,
Pistache.
and it was very nice. And then the pistachio ice cream at Funke. I went to Funke.
Funke.
I went to Funke with Uncle Paulie, and I loved the room. It feels like 90s Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And I love
Banging art collection.
I love the prices. Prices are just astronomical.
Speaking of Mr. Chow, I think Funky should just not have a menu, and the menu should not have prices on it if it does have a menu.
Well, the problem is
everything is market price.
Yeah, but the problem is that crowd, they want to flex. They want to spend the money. They want to know how much it costs. I think. It's a different. But
we want everyone to be able to see the sticker.
It was fucking humming in there, popping.
Yeah. Any power players in the room?
I did see
Ken Griffey
Kumail
Jr.?
At a corner table
Kumail?
holding court. which I was like, I didn't know you ate like this, bro. I thought you were kind of chicken breast and broccoli only.
I was actually listening to a podcast with Kumail on it, the Neil Brennan podcast, and he was Kumail.
Wait, Neil Brennan has a podcast again?
Yeah, it's called Blocks. You wouldn't.
Oh,
like it.
But it's like some bullshit mental health thing.
Yeah.
God, why can't people just have a podcast? He's one of the greats. Like, just have a podcast.
People love mental health.
People love hearing other people that are worse off than them. That's what that comes down to.
I thought I was crazy. You're real crazy.
What did Kumail talk about? His big ass arms?
Well, he talked about having body dysmorphia his entire life, and he talked about like when he was on his fitness plan, how he would use an app to track everything he ate, like down to the grape, popular, down to the almond, and he said, well, I brought him up because you mentioned seeing him at Funke. He said now that he's famous, he kind of like doesn't like to go out to eat unless he has like a special area, like a celebrity zone to sit in the restaurant. I don't think he was trying to say it as a brag.
I mean, that's cool because he's not really that famous. Like,
he's not.
You're not. I mean, I guess he's in
the Marvel universe now, so he'll have people come up and bug him.
I guess that's true. The Marvel thing makes.
We don't know what it's like,
but I don't think of him as like a famous. Like, I don't think of him as a guy who like can't go to the grocery store.
Right. You'll walk past him at Whole Foods and be like, "Hey, that's the guy from."
Yeah, because I've seen him in LA like kind of a lot.
Yeah.
He was at the corner booth at Funke, but the pizza was very mid.
Oh no.
But pasta was smacking.
Okay. Valet? Did you like the valet?
I like the valet.
I like the.
It was a little confusing for me. But that zone of Beverly Hills is popping.
What do you think about Drake's haircut? His like pom.
That's not a haircut. He just let his braids out. He's just letting it. Braid.
It's a look though.
I mean, everything Drake does is.
He's got the FUBU shirt.
Everything Drake does is for this purpose exactly, for two white guys to talk about it. That's the only reason Drake does anything. And Drake has won again. He beat your ass again.
It's not only white guys talking about it though.
You're right.
But I'll use my platform.
White women are also talking about it. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
So you like it?
I like anything Drake does because it's funny.
Full furry suit.
I don't know when For My Dogs is going to come out, but wearing the full suit was cool.
So why is it okay when he does it, but when my marijuana delivery guy wears a furry suit, suddenly it's not okay?
Because you should know this. When you're rich and famous, everything is better than if you're a marijuana delivery guy in Glendale.
You can get away with it. I'm sure his furry suit costs a lot more money than my weed delivery guys.
I feel like
we don't know that.
For My Dog's furry suit could have been custom.
Clearly. I mean, I have to have the best.
That's like me in Halloween. I told you, if I'm going to Halloween, I'm coming out like that. Only. I ain't doing some little cute cheap shit. I went to Party City. I'm going.
You don't go off the rack.
I'm going to Prop House and getting kitted up like I'm Heidi Klum.
It's couture.
Yeah, it's couture. It's couture Halloween week.
This was from the set of Antoinette. It's 2006.
It's not Antoinette. Are you as excited as I am about going to Denver on Tuesday?
Oh yeah, we're going to Denver for Podcast Movement.
So Podcast Movement, which the name is interesting. I don't know what they're trying to kind of evoke in that word. Like,
is it mobility?
Yeah, like. So we're going to this conference, which I guess is the biggest podcasting meetup in the world.
Yeah.
And
it's the Burning Man.
We're doing a private performance for advertisers. But we are going to get to like walk the show floor if we want.
Yeah, we'll have a few hours where we can go kick the tires and get inspired. I think we need to do that.
Okay. I would really rather not, but I think you're right.
We have to fill up our joke tank with observations.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine. We've been to a podcast conference before, and it's it's exactly what you guys think. It's fucking dorks.
For an entire industry based on people talking is some of the worst talkers I've ever met in my life.
Oh. I mean, it's
mostly listeners.
The coolest part about it is that we're staying at an airport hotel.
Yeah.
Because we have to be in New York the night. We have to leave very early the next morning to be in New York for something.
Best way to experience Denver.
And I haven't Yeah, and I think I think we should do this more. I think it might be the best. I think it does a lot for both of us. It's very efficient, which I like. And because we have to fly early, you get to sleep a little more. And in a city where I don't care to participate in what it has to offer, we're saving money.
So the small mind says, let's stay at a hotel next to the venue. And then the big mind says, we stay at the hotel next to the airport.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
this
like
is good.
This is something we should talk to like comedians about, because I feel like as you said, they all like at a certain point, you're like, I want to stay at the fucking Marriott because I know what I'm getting and it's good everywhere or whatever. The baseline is good.
Is there a bar in the lobby?
Yeah.
That has no people in it?
Yeah.
I'm there.
Then I'm there. But yeah, we're going to Denver and then we're going to New York and then we're coming back. It's going to be a whirlwind 48 hours. Are you physically prepared?
Not really. I haven't been feeling great, but I'm on the right track. I might do a little cleanse tomorrow, just to get me good. But I'm excited to go to Denver because it's like a weird. I was thinking about it this morning how we've spent our whole podcast career talking about how Patreon is for losers and how advertising is awesome.
Yeah,
and now we are getting paid by advertisers to do that in front of them while they get drunk, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like we're doing corporates.
We're doing, this is a corporate. This is 100% a corporate. Chick-fil-A, Walmart, if you're listening, you know where to find us.
But you see it on movies or TV shows or something, you know, people will talk about, you know, I got hired by this, you know, plastics manufacturing company and they told me to come in and just roast us to hell.
Don't worry, I'm not going to have to crush a Vicodin with my boot, Bradley Cooper style before the private.
Does he does that for a corporate?
That's the corporate.
Just to get through it?
Yeah, that's a corporate.
Yeah, it's much easier for us. I mean, when you're a comedian and they're like, okay, that's Steve, he's going through a divorce right now, so you're going to want to, there's a lot of good stuff there. Linda's kid just died. Back off on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have enough to go on just based on what we do, but I think that a walkthrough, I just don't even understand what it is. Like, I don't understand are there like, is it like a clothing trade show? Are there like booths set up where people, like, what is the...
I don't know. I guess usually these types of things are, hey, I'm interested. We hear the podcast space is big, so we're gonna send our social media intern down there to check it out. And you go and it's a networking thing, and then the person comes back and then does a report about podcasting and like, this is why I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Your state.
I think this is
comptroller should have his own podcast.
I think this is a global. Like, I think people might be flying in from all over.
Oh, it's a global gathering.
All over the world for this, which is perfect for us because we're kind of global cats.
You know, I guess it's all just, you know, it costs a lot of money to go, and you get your employer to pay for it.
Yeah, it's a for us by us situation. But I'm scared.
Shout out to Dan Fromer.
I'm scared to be in a room with this many podcast enthusiasts, because at our shows, the people that come to our shows are cool because they like our podcast. I'm comfortable with that.
But those are people who are cool in the world, and these are people who are going to be cool for the podcast world.
I don't think they're going to be cool for the podcast world. I think it's going to be Gen Pop of podcast world.
We'll see. I mean, it's a tough door to get into. Not anyone can come.
I know. Hopefully they'll let me bring my Yeti full of Olipop in, just so we can kind of stay hydrated when we're walking the floor.
Yeah. I'm learning that root beer is my favorite flavor of the Ollies.
Are you a root beer guy in general?
I like a good root beer, yeah.
I think root beer is the most popular one, which is funny because root beer seems like a relic of a past time.
A little bit, yeah, but
like we're going to the sock hop. I'm going to get a root beer.
Well, with any form of like manipulation or like a copycat of certain things, some foods just transfer better than others.
Yeah,
you know, like for some reason, jackfruit is like the best vegan pulled pork ingredient you could get.
I forget about jackfruit. I haven't had that in a while.
Jackfruit is a root beer.
I think you can only get jackfruit in LA. That feels like in New York they ain't got jackfruit.
Yeah, jackfruit is just kind of there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
I'm sure it's an amazing ingredient enjoyed by cultures
I've had
all
it
over the
before.
world.
Been like, this is good, but people, it's much like the city of Copenhagen. people have hyped it up to the point where it's like, yeah, it's fine.
It's like tofu.
It's fine.
You're like, this is pretty good for what it is.
I've been getting some great feedback. I posted a picture of you at the Director's Bureau office playing guitar. And it was a reference to a Chloe Sevigny image. It's on the cover of her Rizzoli book where she's standing there with a guitar.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay. No one knows that except me. And the amount of people that are like, not a Squire, because you were playing a Fender Squire guitar that belongs to Chris Chang, like a pink Fender Squire guitar.
Cute.
And I would just like to say to all of you fucking dorks, don't do that. Don't do that. Obviously, that's not the point. Jason isn't a guitar player. Jason isn't a guitar collector. This isn't Jason Isbell. This is Jason Stewart. He's not flying first class so his Gibson can sit next to him. This is obviously just a fun photo of Jason playing a pink guitar at an office. I don't need your feedback on what kind of amp he's using, his pedal board, or his guitar. Please go fuck yourself.
Well, this is a thing that I've had to teach myself over the years where there's a lot of times where you're scrolling through Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Maybe you're very anxious about something in your life and you don't realize it, and you just start.
Don't make this about mental health.
And you just start replying to anything because maybe something will happen.
Well, it's similar to the vibe of we've talked about this archetype before. The person who likes to pick out something in the background to let you know that they're actually cool or like a real head. You know,
like when you have like a goth hoe posting titties on main and someone's like, oh, is that an original copy of Old Boy in the back?
Yeah, exactly. Like, your titties do look good, but I mean, Old Boy's great, right? Yeah, I think it's a very
lamp goals.
It's a very similar thing. Or people that give the feedback, like we did this like Copenhagen list for Vogue Scandinavia. Thank you to Allison and Vogue Scandinavia for that. But people are like, these are the places you went, really? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't give a shit. This is the stuff that we did. It's like meant to be funny. It's like I don't like what are we supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to go to all the spots you think are cool? You fucking dork. I don't know. You don't know what the fuck is up. How do I know you know what's up?
Yeah, I think you have when you're in the position you're about to reply to something.
I don't. The best thing to do when someone comments on your Squire is to open it and let them know you've seen it and then close it without responding. That's the number one way to handle it.
That's the number one Chris Black way to handle it.
And also, I believe Johnny Marr played a Squire.
Well, to your
I'm not sure.
Don't quote you on that. But to your point, you have to think about what you're going to say in response to a photo. Is this something that Chris will be able to respond to? Or is this something that does not deserve a response or is not even a question, where you post a photo of a guitar and somebody goes, Squire?
Not a Squire.
And then what do they expect you to say?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. What do you want the result?
You have to think about the next step, and where Chris is going to say, yes, this is a Squire. And then they respond, oh, damn. And then you respond, yep.
Like, there's no way this turns into a conversation.
So you have to, much like, an opening pickup line or an icebreaker to a stranger, is this going to be a fun thing to engage with? If you really like Chris and you want to talk to him about something, I receive messages like that all the time, and I look at it and I'm just like, what do I say to this?
What am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this?
It's not a cool
it's
thing
almost
you said.
Worse
it's not a question.
Than suggesting who should come on the show as a guest. Like, it's almost worse than that.
I mean, these are first world problems to be complaining about.
They're
but
not first world
this
problems.
Is a teachable moment where just think. Don't have your response be the first thing that comes to mind. It's not a whack-a-mole. It's not a speed game. First of all, you don't have to respond at all, and you shouldn't respond unless what you have to say is going to be cool and good.
Commenting on the name of the guitar that Jason's holding in a negative way when you know Jason doesn't play guitar. And I don't play guitar. Come on. You're better than that. You're better than that.
When does it stop?
I don't pick up shifts
Samsung
at Rivington
TV?
Guitar.
Really?
Yeah, literally. That's the thing. It's like, oh, Apple laptop? Really? It's like what are we doing? What are we doing? Crazy out here, man.
That's what kind of fig you have in your living room? Yeah. Wow.
It's like
those
when
leaves?
people would try to like, I remember there was like a diptyque candle in a photo from the apartment in New York, and people were like, wow, diptyque, really? I'm like, you fucking mouth breather. This is the OG, bro. This is what you don't understand. Like, this is the original, and you're such a new jack that you don't understand that this is the original.
Maybe I will take a lesson out of your playbook and start doing open and no response. Because
there's nothing to say.
TJ's version of that is the double tap and then keep it pushing. If you send me a message and there's no reason, there's no further
you just
engagement.
I get that. No, that's a good method too. I just think sometimes I just think that we all have too much access to each other. It's not our faults. It's the overlord's faults. And I'm sorry you have to see the picture of Jason holding the guitar to begin with.
It does look pretty good though.
You look sick.
I'm wearing a pink hat. It all flows.
It really
now
lines
I need to
up.
Look up the Chloe image to see how well.
It doesn't. No, it's not the same. The Chloe image is more static, and she's just like standing straight ahead, like with the guitar on, short hair.
Static. I like.
You have a little.
Yeah, I'm angled.
You were riffing. She's not playing. She's merely holding.
Yeah, she probably sucks at guitar compared to me. It's
how
not
long
even
gone?
Close. Thank you guys for listening. We survived the hurricane. Doppler 3000's going back under the bed until next rainy season.
Thank you.
But Chris, if you ask me, we needed this rain.
We really needed it. My cucumbers
so
were dying out there. It's fucking tough. How long gone? We're back next week with more podcasts. We will see you in Denver. Ben Shelton.
If you're in Denver, you work in the podcasting industry, come give Chris a handshake and a howdy.
Yeah.
Buy me a drink. We'll get into it.
In New York, we're gonna be chatting with our buddy Ben Shelton, professional tennis player, ATL's own. Not for the podcast, for something else. More on that later.
A-Town down.
And we got guests. Yeah, we got some guests this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we have guests this week, but I don't know.
Stylist to the Stars.
Oh, yes.
And a great musician, a very popular musician that I'm surprised we haven't had on before.
Yeah.
This has been scheduled. The podcast has been. It might be the most in advance of all time. Maybe 3 months.
It's been since it's pre-COVID.
Yeah, it's pre-COVID. Howlonggone.com is the website. I'm Chris Blagg. This is Jason Stewart. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.